Hello, I'm Reverend Mike, and I'm here to answer your questions about religion. Today's topic: aren't sex workers just laborers, like contractors and janitorial staff? Why is there such a taboo about sex work when manual laborers are also selling their bodies? Sex is a very complex subject in regards to Scripture. You have cultural and civil laws in the Bible that are very much tailored to the time in which they were written. Sex, of course, was essential in growing the numbers of your tribe while attempting to minimize influences from outside sources. Marriage assured that the children would have two parents and role models to emulate. Homosexuality was strongly discouraged as it interfered with increasing the numbers of the tribe. Possessions were handed down among offspring. Adultery was in many ways the greatest threat to the family. When adultery occurred, it threw into question the identity of any heirs and distribution of inheritance, which was very important to these ancient people. Because sex within marriage was considered the best way to grow the tribe, sex outside of marriage was a danger to this. Prostitution has been around for longer than human civilization. It has been called the oldest profession. It was thought to encourage sex outside of marriage and possibly delay men from taking wives and thus delay making babies. Physical labor had none of these stigmas. If a construction worker has a workplace accident, it doesn't result in a pregnancy. So in ancient times, a physical laborer would never be associated with a sex worker. In fact, such a comparison would have been like comparing an apple with a cabbage. It would have been an alien thought to ancient people. Today, many modern people have a different view on sex workers. Some even want to make prostitution legal. While many people of faith hold on to the ancient ideals, the majority seem to have a more progressive view on sex, something that can be enjoyed recreationally until they find the right mate. And with the world population soaring, waiting longer before marriage, and unions between homosexuals no longer impacts the population of our cities and countries. We no longer need to hold on to these rules that were meant to grow a small population and ensure inheritance was passed down to the right offspring. In modern terms, to modern eyes, there is a less of a gap between sex workers and physical laborers than existed in ancient times. One day, sex workers might even be viewed in exactly the same way. Or maybe prostitution will cease to exist with the development of realistic sex dolls and realistic looking robots. But for now, our society looks upon sex as a far more intimate and special experience than building or cleaning things. Sex workers will be set apart for the foreseeable future. Most people would agree that physical labor is an essential part of society, but there is a debate when it comes to prostitution. But there are some that would argue that the oldest profession is essential as well. While a great deal of the scriptures that mention prostitution denounce it, strongly denounce it, Yeshua, Jesus, did not. He recognized that back then, if a woman did not have a husband, she was not allowed to have property. Women typically didn't have jobs back then. And sometimes they had to choose between prostitution or starving to death if no one would take them in. He recognized this. and would not let a prostitute be harmed. This is an important lesson that many Christians who are overly judgmental forget. They forget that he took pity on a woman, did not want to allow her to be stoned to death, despite the fact that the literal letter of the law said that she should be. Thank you for watching this video. Click like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment or question below. Your question might even become the subject of a future video. Be good to each other. We are all in this together.